What can separate us from the love of Christ? For the fifth straight Sunday, the second reading comes from Romans chapter 8, in which St. Paul is addressing suffering. And the second reading for this upcoming Sunday, St. Paul doesn't say that sin doesn't separate from the love of Christ. He doesn't say that anger and lust and gossip doesn't separate from the love of Christ, because sins are something we commit. But he says that sufferings cannot separate from the love of Christ, because sufferings are things we endure. And that's important to consider, because in this upcoming Sunday's gospel, when Jesus feeds 5,000 men, not counting women and children, with 5 loaves and 2 fish, it points to the institution of the Holy Eucharist. Because in both the multiplication of the loaves and the institution of the Holy Eucharist, Jesus takes the bread, blesses it, breaks it, and gives it to his disciples. So the whole point of the feeding the 5,000 is meant to point to the fact that the Eucharist is the memorial of Christ's passion, of his suffering and sacrifice for us. Now sometimes we might ask ourselves, if God is all loving, why is he making me suffer? Couldn't he have chosen a different way to show his love? And if you feel that, you're not alone. Christ himself felt that and asked that same question when shortly after instituting the Most Holy Eucharist, during his act in the garden, he turns to the Father and says, "Father, if it is possible, let this cup pass from me." Father, isn't there another way? Does it really have to be this way of suffering? But then he adds, "Not my will, but thy will be done." So the Eucharist is our answer to suffering, because when we see the Eucharist, we not only see Christ, but we see all the saints in heaven, all the souls in purgatory, and all the faithful on earth. So maybe our suffering is because we've lost a loved one. So when we come before the Eucharist, which is also called sacrifice, we can say, "Jesus, I offer my time before you for this loved one who has passed away." Or maybe we feel really lonely, and we come before the Eucharist and offer for our family members who have left the church, that they may come back before the real presence. So this week, bring your sufferings and unite them to Christ, to his own suffering in the Holy Eucharist. Because when we start to do so, we'll realize that nothing can separate us from the love of Christ.